you ever felt stressed or overwhelmed and wonder how your body responds to it? You might have heard the term of allostasis and homeostasis, but what do they really mean? In this presentation, we'll explore how your body adapts to stress and how these concepts work together to keep you healthy. What is homeostasis? Homeostasis is like a thermostat in your house. It's the body way of maintaining a stable temperature even when the outside temperature changes. Your body has many homeostatic mechanisms that work together to keep your internal environment stable. For example, when you're cold, your body shivers to generate heat. And when you're hot, you sweat to cool down. And what is allostasis? Allostasis is like a flexible thermostat. It's the body ways of adapting to changes in the external environment, such as stress. When you're under stress, your body's allostasis system kicks in, releasing hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. To help you respond to the stress, this system is flexible and can adjust to different types of stress, like physical or emotional stress. How do allostasis and homeostasis work together? Imagine a seesaw with homeostasis on one side and allostasis on the other. When your body is under stress, the allostasis system kicks in, and the seesaw tips towards allostasis. This means that your body's homeostatic mechanisms are adjusted to help you respond to the stress. However, if the stress is chronic, the seesaw can tip too far towards allostasis, leading to negative consequences for your health. What are the consequences of chronic allostasis? Chronic allostasis can lead to a range of negative consequences, including chronic stress and anxiety, inflammation, and chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease and diabetes, hormonal imbalances, and reproductive problems. In conclusion, allostasis and homeostasis are two important concepts that work together to help your body adapt to stress. Understanding how these systems work can help you take care of your health and well-being. By recognizing the signs of chronic allostasis and taking steps to manage stress, you can prevent negative consequences and maintain a healthy balance in your life.
Allostatic load refers to the strain on our body from frequent activation of a stress response system. Allostasis helps our body stay stable through changes and adapt to stressors, but too much stress can have consequences. Continuous activation of the allostatic system can lead to health issues like brain atrophy, heart problems, high cholesterol, and chronic pain. Prolonged stress can trigger various health problems and impact both our physical and mental well-being. Physiologically, chronic stress can mess with our hormone levels, weaken our immune system, and stain our heart. Psychologically, it can lead to anxiety, depression, and affect brain function, making it hard to concentrate and make decisions. While allostasis helps us adapt in the short term, the long-term effects can be significant. Over time, excessive stress can make it difficult to cope with new challenges, making us more susceptible to mental and physical health issues. It's important to manage stress and take care of our well-being to avoid these negative effects.
Understanding allostatic load and the cost of adaptation can be challenging for many of us. However, the book we've read sheds light to this concept, making it easier to grasp how the impact of our physical and mental well-being. Allostatic load refers to wear and tear our bodies go through as they adapt to various stressors. Every stimulus triggers a response in our body to maintain its adaptability. Our body and mind are interconnected, so factors like chronic stress can push our bodies to adapt, affecting both our physical health like cardiovascular disease and obesity, and mental well-being. The book emphasizes how chronic activation of our body system can have negative effects when our body fails to properly regulate itself. In the face of challenge, the cause can accumulate and worsen over time. Understanding how stress affects us is crucial, and interventions can help us adapt to stressors and maintain balance in our bodies. In essence, it's important to recognize the impact of allostatic load and the need for adaptation to different environments. By improving our responses to stress and maintaining a healthy balance, we can support our overall well-being. Anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorder often arises from dysregulated stress responses. Chronic allostatic load can lead to hyperactivity of the HPA axis, resulting in increased cortisol production. Elevated cortisol levels can contribute to symptoms of anxiety, such as hyperarousal and heightened fear responses. Prolonged stress can also impair cognitive function, exacerbating worry and leading to a vicious cycle of anxiety.
In simpler terms, allostasis is like the body's ability to maintain balance through change in response to stress, while allostatic load is the wear and tear that happens when this adaptive process is triggered too often or for too long. This wear and tear affects both physical and mental health, especially in psychological disorders where stress regulation is key. Take PTSD for example. It occurs after a person goes through severe trauma, disrupting the body's stress regulation system. The trauma leaves a mark on the brain's fear processing and emotion regulating areas, causing the individual to stay on high alert long after the trauma has passed. This heightened state of alertness leads to extreme stress reactions, making it hard for the brain to differentiate between real threats and perceived dangers, resulting in intense emotional and physical responses to treatment. Chronic stress is a big risk factor for depression because it messes up the body's stress response system, especially the HPA axis. This dysregulation leads to constantly high levels of cortisol, the main stress hormones, which messes with serotonin levels linked to mood regulation. Prolonged stress can harm the brain's ability to change and damage the hippocampus, a crucial area for memory and emotion. Shrinkage of the hippocampus due to stress is linked to depressive symptoms like trouble focusing, feeling of hopelessness, and memory issues.
I'm Edgar Aranas. Bipolar disorder, characterized by extreme mood swing between manic and depressive episode, is classified as a mood disorder in abnormal psychology. It involves abnormal mood regulation that goes beyond the typical mood fluctuation. The manic episode may include grandiosity, impulsivity, and risky behavior, while depressive episodes are marked by deep sadness, hopelessness, and low energy. Anxiety disorder, which include panic disorder, social anxiety, and specific phobias, are also a significant focus of abnormal psychology. It becomes part of abnormal psychology when it is excessive persistent with daily functioning. Individuals with bipolar disorder often experience comorbid anxiety disorder, which complicate the diagnosis and the treatment of both conditions, and the coexistence of anxiety with bipolar disorder can exacerbate symptoms, increase the likelihood of suicidal thought, and complicate treatment strategies.
Based on study done by National Library of Medicine's, psychologically distressed individuals are more likely to have hypertension. In fact, there is a study of U.S. veterans Carroll et al. It implies that hypertension is linked to general anxiety disorders and major depression disorder. When an individual is stressed, its body releases hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which increase heart rates and constrict blood flow. And if the body persists in experiencing the symptoms along with a sedentary lifestyle, it may lead to chronic stress and cause psychological disorder to manifest. In conclusions, allostasis and homeostasis are two important concepts that work together to help your body adapt to stress. Understanding how these systems work can help you take care of your health and well-being. By recognizing the signs of chronic allostasis and taking steps to manage stress, you can prevent negative consequences and maintain a healthy balance in your life.
One example, Peter is experiencing chronic stress due to financial struggles, family problems, traffic, etc. that take a toll on his physiological aspect. So stress is not always a bad thing. We actually needed to learn to survive, to adapt, to evolve, and to be resilient. But continuous and high doses of it makes it detrimental to our mental health. Our body has the ability to maintain its internal equilibrium, which is what we call homeostasis. Changes on the heart rate, breathing, and such are some of the ways that our body does to respond to stress. Now, there is another concept that was introduced in relation to that, which is named allostasis. And it is the ability of our body to move from homeostasis to somehow rise above the stress. Therefore, whenever our body or whenever we are stressed, allostasis gets activated. Hence, it is helping the body to surpass and defeat stress. However, if it gets overactivated to the extent that it does not have time to recover and to return to homeostasis, which in turn, in Peter's case, due to chronic stress, his body will continue to release hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which increases heart rate and constricts blood flow. And if the body persists in experiencing the symptoms along with the sedentary lifestyle, which in turn may result in allostatic load, homeostasis, and allostasis that came to play, and that work handy may get too overworked and may lead to chronic stress.